The next big worry is going to be recession. We don't necessarily believe there will be one, but if we're right on what's going on out there and inventories are starting to build up, we've been saying for some time that the inventories in the system are much, much higher than I think most people appreciate. But where are they if they're not in the auto dealer lots? Well, they're in our garages and in our driveways. And everyone knows the familiar story of stocking up on paper goods. We're not going to have to buy them for quite some time. So a lot of inventories are in households.
Welcome back to Investment Tribe, where you've subscribed because you want to learn all about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and other digital assets. Don't forget to leave us a thumbs up and enable the notifications so you'll be alerted whenever we post a new video. In today's video, we will go back to Cathie Wood because she is back with some shocking predictions about our futures and where the economy is headed. We will analyze some of her plans and delve into the events developing across the world. Cathie Wood is one of the most famous investment managers in the world. She's well known for shorting or betting some massive stocks. She's also an investor who likes risk, but when she's right, she wins big. In 2020, her ARK Innovation investment fund gained an impressive 152% return. This propelled her to the front pages of CNBC and many other financial media outlets. Cathie Wood is known as the ultimate permabull among netizens. She's famous for believing that the market is not in a bubble, and we're only beginning to grasp the concepts of genomic AI and fintech revolution. She's the complete opposite to people like Peter Schiff, who believes we're just moments away from imploding the entire global economy. In a way, Cathie is temporarily correct if we're looking at today's economy as the market continues to march higher and higher. Cathie's positivity in the global economy gives people hope, especially in 2021 with inflation looming, oil prices going crazy, and the Chinese economy trembling. This contrasts with some prominent investors who are pushing a negative outlook on the markets. But Cathie declines to give in. Cathie Wood has gone on several records saying that inflation would be temporary and deflation would be tomorrow's problem. This belief is somewhat naive or delusional, as most citizens are beginning to doubt this inflation problem is temporary. Record-high CPI numbers have haunted the American economy for many months. The data is screaming at us. Even if you take the highly manipulated Federal Reserve numbers, there has been no relief from increases in prices everywhere. First, let's talk about Cathie Wood's reaction to the ongoing inflation around the world. According to her, she is aware that the market is going up, and if the market's going up, she thought the fears of inflation were diminishing, but they do not seem to be so. So she's stunned to learn this issue, especially since most of the statistics coming out are very much on the high side. But despite all of these, she still believes that inflation may not be transitory. Wood is evident in saying that she and her team have not changed their point of view, but she wants us to know that they're not out of touch with reality and that they know what's going on. She then told the situation that happened in John Deere last October. If you're not aware, John Deere is a heavy machinery manufacturer specializing in farm equipment, which is their biggest market. John Deere employs around 27,500 people in North America, mainly in the United States and Canada. On October 14, over 10,000 workers protested and walked off the job. They're asking for significantly higher wages to combat inflation. Cathie Wood is so surprised that the union workers at John Deere rejected the company's proposal for wage increases, especially with a term like 23% increase for the first year. Then after that, 5% fixed rate for the duration of the contract, which is a very long time. She was shocked that they rejected this deal. And John Deere is not alone on this, as the same situation is happening with Kellogg's Frito-Lay and many more manufacturers across the country. These are alarming developments for Cathie, since this might be a sign of an incoming wage price spiral. This is a macroeconomy theory used to explain the cause and effect relationships between rising wages and prices. Basically, with higher salaries, people will have higher consumption, resulting in higher prices. This can quickly get out of control once you give someone a raise, and taking it back down becomes nearly impossible. That's why it's called a spiral. But to Cathie Wood and her optimist mindset, this problem will not spiral out of control due to a massive rise in productivity. If we're talking about deflation, productivity is an excellent case for it. And based on centuries of data, productivity has been accelerating all the time. That's why to Cathie and many experts, we will soon experience great deflation instead of inflation. The emergence of driverless cars and trucks will occur during this period, as they are the force that will lower the expenses. Based on what we're seeing right now, companies like Tesla and Waymo are still years away from these technological advancements. And with rising input costs, inflation could win at this point. That's why the highest input cost remains to be oil. Did you know that the price per barrel right now is approaching prices from 2008 after that colossal stock and market crash? This is very alarming since almost every company on earth is affected by this. They say that oil is the foundation of the 21st century economy, and that's undoubtedly true. Cathie Wood admitted that she's wrong about her predictions about oil. She's on record of saying that she would be surprised if oil prices surpassed their 2018 high. Back then, price per barrel is $77, but the price currently sits at $81 per barrel, and they have gotten as high as $84 per barrel in previous months. And Wood knew this was happening. According to their understanding, it's becoming obvious it's not the demand side of the equation, but the supply side. This is because of ESG, or environmental, social, and governance, where companies now are trying to achieve. As a result, many pension funds, endowments, foundations stop buying stocks for oil companies, as long as they're not shifting their capital spending from fossil fuels to renewables. The hidden message behind this is that we should all be surprised about the oil price hikes. As Cathie Wood said, the problem is on the supply side. Oil demand is relatively low compared to 2019, so one would think that the price would remain low. So if this is the case, then the problem must come from the supply side, right? Well, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but large institutional investors are refusing to give big oil money. This is resulting in oil companies falling to grow output. So they're politically shifting the oil prices. Although while this is happening, the current administration is now shutting down oil pipelines, yet at the same time begs OPEC to pump more. But obviously, OPEC refuses to do this, so we are left with higher and higher prices, resulting in the feedback loop of inflation. The government's trying to walk the fine line between saving the environment and saving the economy, but it has some indirect adverse effects. Cathie Wood believes that OPEC is being very stingy with its supplies. Well, there's truth to that, since they basically said, "This is your problem, not our problem," when Biden requested for an increase in supply. Basically, OPEC wants demands to continue at a steady rate. That's why they're choking at the supplies. Also, they don't want the switch into renewables to happen for obvious reasons. According to her, there might be something else going on behind the scenes, probably political, that we don't understand. Most experts say that it's a psychological issue that causes inflation. If the crowds perceive prices will rise, they will buy more now to avoid worrying about the future, right? Demands will increase and the price will follow suit. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can see this everywhere, but oil and food are the most significant influencers. To summarize, Cathie Wood is very concerned about this inflation problem that's continuously growing as we speak. The exact opposite of what she predicted is happening right now, and according to the financial author named Michael Batnick, the only way to make sense out of all this is that investors have suspended this belief, because it boggles the mind that we allowed a car company that has yet to deliver a car to be valued at $65 billion. There's no precedent to what's happening right from any other time in history. Everyone is playing at a completely new and somewhat distorted field that we have yet to understand. So that's our video for today. We hope you like that one. Share with us your thoughts about this ongoing economic inflation happening around the globe. Do you agree with Cathie Wood and believe this is only temporary? Or do you think otherwise? Well, that's all for now. This is Investment Tribe. See you again tomorrow. Keep in mind to like, share, and subscribe.